Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Cranium of Creativity. I am your host, John, and today we are definitely going to be touching upon the news that Microsoft plans to acquire Activision Blizzard. So let's talk about what this means and what it doesn't mean. Okay. So let's start with the obvious. Microsoft has made this announcement, and they made it earlier in the day on Tuesday. And what this means, or at least what it seems to mean, is that the actual acquisition is not going to take place until sometime next year. But in the meantime, Microsoft has a lot that they have to get off their plate. First and foremost, getting permission to make the acquisition in the first place. Why is this important? Well, Microsoft needs to make sure that what they end up doing does not cause a monopoly of any sort. Because as we all know, a monopoly is illegal. So Microsoft's best bet at this point is to make sure that everything is in fact legal, so that they do not get into trouble and have to give up any of the assets that they acquire through this purchase. So, as we await to see exactly what happens, it is now time to speculate what this truly means for the future, should it take place, which most likely it will, and what it does not mean. So, let's take a look at what it actually does mean. Microsoft has acquired Bethesda in the past, with their main focus being the acquirement of current IP, being able to put current games onto their Game Pass service, and of course, being able to put all future games onto the Game Pass service. And of course, now that we kind of know what to expect from what happened with Bethesda, that also means that it is not necessarily Xbox exclusive. It is Xbox console exclusive for sure. But as we all know, Bethesda games also have ended up on PC and will most likely continue to be on PC. That being said, it seems as though Phil Spencer is trying to steer clear of making any sort of promise one way or the other regarding Activision Blizzard. In fact, he has even gone as far as to say that he plans on making Activision Blizzard games available on all potential platforms. Whether this actually includes the PlayStation platform or not remains to be seen. But what we do know is that by acquiring Activision Blizzard, we can expect to see past, present, and future Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and many other games of the like on the Game Pass service, because that is the biggest driver for growth right now for Microsoft. And that's even despite the fact that Microsoft's Xbox series of consoles has sold better than any other console generation of Xboxes before. Now, the reason we can still safely say that Game Pass is its biggest driver for growth is that alongside the acquisition announcement, Microsoft has also announced that they have 25 million Game Pass subscribers. And on top of that, we also know that a big portion of the reason for Xbox consoles, as well as PlayStation for that matter, selling so well is because of scalpers, which of course Microsoft has no control over, and of course cannot really be a part of their long-term plans. Eventually, the thirst for Xbox and PlayStation consoles will die down if it has not done so already, which by all accounts it actually has slowed down. I actually read a news story the other day that scalpers were having to sell the consoles that they had acquired at a lower price than they originally had been selling them for in the first place. Console thirst has died down, and this is actually a good thing for the consumer that still wants one, but is not willing to pay exorbitant prices in order to get one. Now, with all that being said, we also know that as of this moment, Microsoft has not announced any plans for complete exclusivity of the games that come with Activision and Blizzard. And until it does so, we won't know for sure, nor can we speculate on the possibility that all of those games and IP will eventually become Xbox exclusives, at least Xbox console exclusives. I imagine that should they become console exclusives for Xbox, that they would still be released on PC at some point, if not right away, which of course still goes in line with Microsoft's plans, and of course still goes in line with the fact that Game Pass is available on both platforms. There has been some speculation that Xbox and, of course, its Game Pass service could eventually end up on PlayStation, and this could very well be a move in order to lend itself to that credence even more so. That being said, however, we cannot speculate for sure, nor can we even venture a guess that this could even potentially happen. Because as much as we all want games to be available for everyone, everywhere, we also know that at the end of the day, Microsoft and Xbox is a business that, while still doing very well, is lagging a little bit behind PlayStation. This generation, however, is showing, at least console sales-wise, that it is not lagging behind nearly as much as it had been in the past. But, all things being equal, we still don't know a lot of the overall world sales numbers. We can speculate all we want to about those, but for what we know right now, North America-wise, they are actually a lot more equal than we originally thought. And that has been reported by IGN and various other outlets. So, all that being said, Microsoft is planning on acquiring Activision Blizzard by next year. So hopefully everything goes well. Hopefully everything with these sexual scandals that have been plaguing Activision Blizzard will go away at some point. And not for all the wrong reasons, but because with the right management, all the things that have taken place in the shaky past of these companies can be dealt with and nipped away so that hopefully they never happen again. And with Phil Spencer becoming CEO of these companies with the acquisition, hopefully we can see all of these things go to the wayside. So, and of course that also lends itself to one other piece, that perhaps the reason for this sale is because of all of these allegations going on, and Activision Blizzard realizing that it needs some sort of a fresh start. That being said, though, we also know from the news reports that have been reported on that the employees that were staging these, what do you want to call it, the informationals about what they want, the demands that they are trying to make, nothing has changed for them. So hopefully Microsoft and Phil Spencer specifically will be able to sit down with those individuals and work out what they feel was abusive behavior in the workplace and what needs to happen to make sure that it never happens again. But at the end of the day, Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard is a very, very exciting venture, not just for video gaming as a whole, but for people who are fans of Xbox and Microsoft, and knowing that most of the games that are currently available, as well as all future games, will potentially be on Microsoft's premier subscription service, Game Pass. And with that potentially even available through Xbox Game Cloud, because many people have reported on, even as far as just a few days ago, that Microsoft's cloud service is a lot smoother of an experience than it used to be. So we can only hope and speculate that things will go in the way that they need to, not just for Microsoft, but for the consumers that they serve. And with that, I want to say thank you. For those of you interested in more content like this, please hit the subscribe and like buttons, and I will talk to you all again in the future. That's me signing off, and I'll talk to you all later.